Namaskar and welcome back to Sanvad. Today we are joined by someone who was just 19 years old college student when he started his journey using his savings and now has transformed that dream into world's largest youth-run non-profitable organization, IIMUN. We have with us the founder and president of IIMUN, Mr. Rishabh Shah. Welcome to Sanvad, sir.
Also, wait. No, yeah, I just find them to be cool, yeah. Like I find them.
You know about the clock it. The quote says the same, na?
I would like to differ slightly with the quote in this, that I feel that whenever you do something in life, somebody were to ask Ranveer Singh saying, "आप कितना sacrifice करते हो, कितनी बड़ी बात है," etc. Don't just work smart, work hard. For me, the idea is that because you allotted 8 hours to this task, today AI gave you the answer in 8 minutes. That means that you saved 7 hours and 52 minutes. Make sure that you are purposely speaking Hindi and English, all right? The second is sifarish mat use karo. There's a very popular politician who worked with us in...
Namaskar and welcome back to Sanvad, a podcast initiative by Sunbeam. I am Aradhya Chaudhary from Sunbeam School Varuna, the MUN head of my school.
And I'm Kavya Agarwal, the cultural captain of Sunbeam International Varuna.
Swami Vivekanand famously said, "Take up one idea, make that one idea your life, think of it, dream of it, live on that idea. Let the brain, muscles, nerves and every part of your body feel that idea and just leave every other idea alone. This is the way to success." Today we are joined by someone who was just 19 years old college student when he started his journey using his savings from international chess championships. He chose to back an incredible dream and now has transformed that dream into world's largest youth-run non-profitable organization, IIMUN.
He is a phenomenal visionary leader and acclaimed author of several books like Nothing But the Truth, Young, Wired and Not Woke, The Red Light and many more.
We have with us the founder and president of IIMUN, Mr. Rishabh Shah.
Welcome to Sanvad, sir.
How
Thank
sweet.
you- Thank you for coming and joining us for this conversation.
How sweet. Thank you very, very much. Everything that you said was very kind. Just one thing that I'm no longer president. The younger people who are in charge of IIMUN, who run the organization, now I'm like the needless school teacher that they have, who's giving them instructions when they don't want to listen.
So you are incredibly sharp with your Gen Z lingo on massive global stages. So, but in your book, Young, Wired and Not Woke targets the exact structural flaws of this generation. Where do you find the line between using our lingo to genuinely connect with us and realizing that our generation is completely droning in digital comfort?
So very loaded question, yeah. In terms of keeping up with your lingo, I think
you have to just tell where you have learned these lingos from, Gen Z lingos, and why you use it to connect with us or something else like.
no, yeah, I just find them to be cool, yeah. Like I find them.
You know about the clock it one?
Yeah, of course, of course. Yeah.
Can you do it once?
Clock it. I find it to be a really cool use of words, and English was meant in order to communicate things, right? And you all have found a more unique way of communication. So it's a lot of fun. And a lot of your shows, which I follow, a lot of your shows that I watch, no cap is they're lit. So, and these days, I need to aura farm, but you guys have so many aura points. So already, so the idea that young people just use a different means of communication. And I think it's important for not just me, but I feel that for anybody who's a millennial or upwards should keep up with your language, because if they truly want to be able to talk to you, बोरिंग परंपरा प्रतिष्ठा और अनुशासन के बारे में ऐसे बात करूँगा तो आप सो जाओगे.
Exactly, sir. Unquestionably true. So yeah, in that book, Young, Wired but Not Woke, you have used very Gen Z words and Gen Z language, so it's very easy for us to engage and read the entire book
And
in one day.
relate it.
But I would also like to believe I'm also Gen Z, yeah. मुझे ऐसे मुझे ऐसे No, so thank you for that, and I'm so glad that you found the book useful. But the purpose of writing that book was also essentially in order to make sure that young people understand all these different issues, but from India's lens. कि भारतीय नजरिया क्या है इसके बारे में. So that was the idea of the thing. And then, of course, to write in a language that's simple to understand. I can't write it in Shashi Tharoor sir's language. So, but he has a unique way of communication. Yes.
So Speaking of digital crutches, sir, most students today use ChatGPT or Gemini to create their entire MUN speeches or position papers. Since these global AI engines don't look at things from an inherently Indian perspective, do you think this dependency is eroding our original thinking, and what is the real antidote to it?
Yeah, I think AI is fast replacing actual intelligence and we are outsourcing everything. हम लोग आप लोग होमवर्क आउटसोर्स करते हो कभी कभार.
Sometimes, but not usually, because now I have understood that using AI, our thinking slows. The process gets slow. So that's why if you understand well, and if you do MUNs also, so you get to know how to research and everything. So then you understand that using AI just, yeah, it brain rot. It does.
ब्रेन रॉट हो जाता है ना.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel that AI is a very हाँ बोलो.
सोच नहीं पाते हैं because जैसे कोई we have a situation, we need to make a decision for that, and if you're using AI constantly for everything and for a reply also to a teacher, so that's, I don't think that's useful for our long term. That's
Of
useful
course.
for short term, but we should always think of long term.
Of course, and I think.
That's why. So what's your point on that?
No, I think you summarized my answer. But,
sorry.
no, but it's a good thing. No, of course. And I think the same thing that it is very necessary to use AI in order to do research, but I don't think it is imperative in order to start using AI for almost everything. Now, what we're doing,
Dependent on it, right?
yeah, we're outsourcing everything to AI, and I think it's a problem that is there because it is technology that's available to us and it's the easiest thing. If this tech was available 15 years ago, I would also be using AI for all of this only. So how we use AI judiciously is very, very important. I think one of the greatest challenges of this generation will be in order to how they use AI, whether it's effective or it is just for personal purposes in order to make life easier in things which should have been done otherwise. I hope I'm making sense.
Yeah.
I'm not as articulate as she is, but both of you are, but we try.
So next question is about, like, what do you think will happen to the actual psychological core of our generation when they, completely lose the ability to sit alone in a room, quiet room, and with their own thoughts without a phone or an excuse or a digital validation?
See, मुझे लगता है कि all of us always keep saying that this generation will not be able to sit in a room alone and they are continuously doom scrolling and things like that. But I work with young people. This organization is run by people who are 15 to 24. So the idea is that I don't see them to be essentially people who can't sit alone with their thoughts. So we are very quick to judge this generation, and I think people who are older are quick to judge the next generation always. So it happened with my time, and I think now it's happening again. So I do feel that young people can yet do this, but the only problem that is happening is if you keep doom scrolling, then what it does to your brain and how it's rewiring your brain is very important to understand. So like say for example, the reason why when we doom scroll, we like certain things on Instagram, and then that gives us a dopamine rush. So we get very happy because we see something that we like and then we like it. Now, the next time the same reel comes up, we may not instantly like it because we've already liked something. So the quality of that reel has to be slightly better than the last. So what it's doing to us is that it's keeping on firing. I don't know how much I'm able to make sense, but it's keeping on firing your dopamines to your brain at such a speed that your brain is becoming numb. So one needs to realize that that part of it is happening because of Instagram and social media applications. So we should use it judiciously, but I don't think that young people can't sit with their thoughts alone. In fact, I think this generation is most competent to be able to deal with problems which older people can't.
Also, can I add a point? Like you said, when we like a reel, then the next reel comes. So we only like the reels which matches our ideology,
Correct.
not the other one. So only the biased reels comes to our feed, and we have misinformation, not the other side. Like we only see one side of the coin. So that's why also doom scrolling.
This is the biggest issue of our times, that we are all building echo chambers. Like I'll give you a small example. Narendra Modi, who's a very popular leader across the world, and Rahul Gandhi. And if you keep liking Prime Minister's reels, you'll only get BJP views.
Yeah.
If you like Rahul's reels, you'll only get Rahul Ji's views.
Exactly.
So then people think that everything that BJP is doing is either right or wrong. So and I personally believe that there's nothing like that. There are 50 shades of grey everywhere. Though you're too young to have understood that reference. I hope you've not understood that reference. Great. She has. But the idea is this, that don't just, and again I'll quickly say this, is you say Virat Kohli, Virat Kohli, Virat Kohli, and you keep seeing Virat Kohli reels, and you keep seeing Virat's reels. My suggestion is, along with RCB, also see Mumbai Indians. So that you
Yes, okay.
also see CSK.
CSK fan?
Yeah.
You?
I'm from Mumbai, yeah. So
Mumbai Indians.
RCB.
Mumbai.
CSK.
So we got IPL on the table.
Moving on to a broader scale, sir, what is a harsh truth about the mindset of the Indian youth that nobody wants to voice publicly?
What's the harsh truth about the if you can
Indian
repeat?
youth
Indian youth?
Which they don't
that
voice
nobody wants to
publicly.
address.
Nobody wants to address a problem with Indian youth. Then nobody or
They don't, which the youth don't want to
Yeah.
voice publicly.
okay
A harsh truth about them.
about themselves.
Yeah.
I think this is better asked to somebody who is in the generation, who is facing problems. I can only say it from outside. It'll be unfair of me to comment on the fact that what you are facing and what is the greatest challenge that you individually are facing. You will be the best judge of that. So I'll respectfully pass this and say, yeah, because it's an individual that is dealing with a problem. So I don't know at a mass level, is that what your question is? That at a generic level?
Generic
Yeah.
level.
I do think that social media is the kind of content, more than social media, let me rephrase that. The kind of content that we are consuming is not necessarily the kind of content that I feel, and I'm not stating the young people's problems. I'm stating my problem with what young people, in terms of the kind of content that is being dished out to you all. And I think it's important that we need to make sure that all our talent doesn't become latent, is what I'm trying to say. And today the content that's being put out for fun or games, and it's nice to watch and consume, but there should be also other content that should be made available. So I don't think it's your problem. I think it's the problem of those people who are making the content. I think you're too young in terms of grade 9 or 10 or 11 or 12 to be having a generic problem or individual problems also, which need to be dealt with by other people. I think other people are causing more problems for you, is what I would like to say. Yeah.
If we talk about like academically,
Hmm.
then there's one problem. Everyone's have a dream, which they want to accomplish in the future. So the thing is, they're highly ambitious but deeply fragile. Like they think of the dream, they think of it every day, but they don't work upon that. They wait for the right time to come, and that right time never comes. I think so. Like it doesn't mean ki it needs to be true, but
It's a case to case basis. I think
Yeah,
it's
case-
also one thing that now that I think about it, one thing that I do feel that may be a thing which I see in a lot of young people is instant gratification. They're always wanting things immediately. That जो 30 मिनट की डोमिनोज की डिलीवरी थी, अब वो आपकी इंस्टामार्ट की 10 मिनट की डिलीवरी हो गई है. अभी ऐसा होगा कि 2 मिनट में ब्लिंकिट का कुछ नहीं आएगा तो आप चिल्लाने लगोगे saying that ब्लिंकिट का अब तक नहीं आया.
up to reels we watch on 2x.
Exactly. Oh, that's so me.
And that I think is a generic problem. If you were to ask me, saying that, Rishabh, what is the problem? I say instant gratification is not good, because everything in life is not a 2-minute Maggi noodle. As the only thing that we grew up with, which was that Maggi noodles can be made in 2 minutes. So the idea that the longer route or the shortcut is not something that you should take, and the longer route is something that you should go ahead with, is something that I think is what I would like to say. Then again, a lot of people say that, Rishabh, the tools that are available today weren't available 20 years ago. So why not make use of these tools in order to take the shortcuts that are there? But I just feel that it's a generation that wants things very fast. And sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing. I think it should be channelized in the right direction. So this would be a boon and a bane.
One perspective that I have on this question is that people, including me, often confuse between awareness and action. Like we always talk about how if we had this power, we could change this in the world, we could make that changes. But we only say, we don't spend much time actually like
Doing things.
any action on it. We're just for
The same thing, I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah.
The same thing that your friend was saying.
Yeah.
But I think that's also true in a small sense, that there is a lot of awareness.
We
but
want you your like opinion on this? What's your opinion on this?
I think you're so aware. Can I be honest that today in grade 10 when you're sitting and you're asking these kind of questions and you have this kind of worldview, I didn't. Okay, I don't know about your teachers, your principal, your management, but I didn't have it. And I can safely tell you that because you have so much of awareness, therefore you feel more responsible. Saying, देखो ईरान में भी गलत हो रहा है, climate change में भी गलत हो रहा है, mental health also we have to deal with. So you are so exposed to everything. So you feel that it is your responsibility to do things. That does not mean that you're not doing things. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't do more, but I'm just simply saying that don't feel that पूरी दुनिया की problems आपको ही solve करने हैं. Because right now you are aware of things which I was not aware of. For me, information was not democratic. I could not just look up the internet and find out information immediately. Today it comes on your reels, which you see at 2x, and then you see that there are these 10 things that are happening, and therefore you feel responsible saying मैंने enough पेड़ नहीं लगाए तो दुनिया गिर जाएगी. But वो आप जितना कर सकते हो आपके माध्यम से करो. Then there are other people who should be doing it. The school, the member of parliament, the country, the government, etc. They are more responsible to do it. So don't take all the pressure on you. You're doing exceedingly well. Okay.
So true.
Yeah, no, because you're so aware, and therefore I feel, yeah.
So, we are a country of 1.4 billion people with brilliant individual minds, and yet we struggle to find 11 players who can consistently represent us on the FIFA World Cup stage. So, is this an institutional scouting failure, or is our society simply unwilling to value raw sports excellence over conventional career tracks?
Great question, yeah. Are you watching the World Cup? Not so much.
I watched the Egypt and Argentina match.
That was crazy, no?
I know that.
Oh, it's
The last 12 minutes something.
The man has some different level of riz. अलग ही है. But sorry, coming back to the question. The idea that we don't pay enough attention in our schools when it comes to things such as extracurriculars, or what used to be called extracurriculars then became co-curriculars, and etc. etc. I think a lot of importance is given to academia, and if you finish first in class, your parents will be happy, you'll get admission into a good college, etc. etc. But athletics are not given as much of importance. Sports are not given importance. Other fields are not given as much importance. It's changing. But I do definitely feel that in a country of 1.6 billion people, that we should be doing much better in all sports. And the grassroots change has to come from schools. It can't be one period. वो आप पूरे हफ्ते में वन क्लब बना दोगे और उसको बोलोगे मन क्लब एग्जाम्पल ओके एंड देन यू कांट एक्सपेक्ट अ किड टू बिकम अ UPSC टॉपर. You have to enable the kid in grade 8 or grade 7 by giving that kind of exposure, saying study international relations today, understand IR, what the world is saying, etc. etc. See what Palki is putting up on reels. See also what is happening with Zoran Mamdani, and see what's happening in your own city. And then the kid will land up saying that, look, I want to pursue international relations and I'm going to do this in this manner. But today, you've got 9 lectures in which you've got physics and maths and chemistry and so on and so forth. And you've got one club, which is your मन club or debate club or your sports club or whatever it is. So वो एक period में आप कितना ही सीखोगे? And that I think is a fundamental problem, which again is not your fault. It's the systems that you're a part of, which is...
I add up to that.
Yeah, please.
In our school, you're right. Like in many of the schools, in majority, co-curriculars are not given priority. But in our school, it is.
I'm so
we
glad.
have IIMUN club and every club, and the clubs are given time. If any event is approaching, teachers let them go and they go for practice, and then when they come back, so anything is left, the teacher helps them out in free period.
I'm so glad. But मैं एक चीज आपको बताऊँ, this is a very very good thing. What you said is a brilliant thing, and I'm so glad that it's happening in your school. But till this, I'm just giving a suggestion. Okay, so my school also I give suggestions. Nobody listens, boss. The idea is that I keep telling them, saying, if you are interested in international relations, or if you are interested, let's say, in playing cricket, you want to become the next Smith.
I'm interested in. I'm interested in Indian politics and geopolitics.
Great. So if you're interested in Indian politics and geopolitics, international relations, because I guess that you are the MUN club captain and you are interested in culture. So what field is it that you want to do?
I have just been the culture captain because I've taken part in quite co-curricular activities like in debates and MUNs mainly.
Okay.
So that's why.
Okay. So let's assume that you're going to also be interested in geopolitics. Okay. So geopolitics and international relations, if it is a subject in your school, now in IB schools there's a subject called global perspectives. Now in IB, you're in IB, okay. There's a subject called global perspectives. But the idea that global perspectives is a subject again. What I'm saying is the subject should, why can't we identify a grade 5 student wanting to do something in their life? Like say for example, let's assume that Sachin Tendulkar was told saying for one period in the day you can play cricket. Then Sachin will never become Sachin. Or Vaibhav Suryavanshi will never become Vaibhav Suryavanshi if he was told saying, आप एक ही period में आप ये करो. तो मैं तो हर I spoke at the All India ICSE principals meet where 2,000 principals were there. And the same thing for the IB and all of that. I keep telling them, saying that आप बच्चे का हुनर क्या है and उसका interest क्या है, उसमें आप can you build that kid in a particular way. And in the IB curriculum especially, considering you're from IB, you don't have 100 kids in a classroom. You've got 14, 15, 20 at best.
Max.
25 at best. So why can't we curate curriculums in a way that further the child's interest and then of course teach them other subjects? But I'm saying out of 10 subjects that were there, if you are interested in geopolitics, 6 should be for geopolitics and international relations. तो आपको 100 में से 100 मिलेंगे. And आपके सारे and आप जाके आगे जाके you will become better than Jaishankar and Shashi Tharoor. For sure.
You know what's the thing? Yeah, same. Like I am in 10th. So what's the problem? I don't like maths and science. Like science I like a bit, but maths not at all. So what's the problem? If I go to study also, if I study and practice, I'll get like good marks. But what happens? I don't have interest, so you don't feel like studying for that subject, and that lowers your percentage, entire percentage. But if the subjects I'm interested in, like social science, if social science, geography, economics, everything comes under that. So if that only the subject I'm studying, geopolitics and everything, I'll score 100 out of 100.
My point. So my whole thing is this: that if Sachin was allowed to play cricket in school, Sachin would never leave school. Like in your case, that if you were really interested in international relations, and I say this everywhere, that please let the kid who's made up their mind, example in your case, pursue the thing that they want to pursue and build a system around that to equip them to do that. First, you and me who don't know what we want to do in the future, let's assume, then it's okay to expose. Do you already know what you want to do in the future? What is it?
Fashion designing.
Oh, fantastic, yeah. Don't judge my outfit, huh?
Oh no.
No, fit check is okay?
It's it's perfect.
Oh,
You're
okay.
slaying.
Oh, thank you.
Slay.
Thank you. But so that's the point, right? Like, bolo, up bolo.
I told you about the things I'm interested in. So can you guess like what I want to pursue in future?
UPSC, IR, political science, political science, eh? Political science, and some of these universities that are there. Imagine like grade 9 or 10. If you are made to think about these issues from now and act upon them, by the time you come out of the system, you will definitely be better leaders. You already, in a way, because you're exposed to so much. But I'm just saying that, तो आप मैथ्स क्यों पढ़ रहे हो? मैं ऐसे नहीं बोल रहा हूँ कि मैथ्स नहीं पढ़ना चाहिए. मैथ्स इज द लैंग्वेज ऑफ द यूनिवर्स. आई एम जस्ट सेइंग दैट वो कितना कॉस साइन थीटा मैंने लाइफ में यूज़ किया मुझे पता है. That how much of that has actually helped in life. Even the people who are standing out here, they're laughing because वो actual में मतलब नहीं बनता है. Unless and until you're a scientist and you want to pursue that, then it makes a lot of sense. So I just feel that academia is a little 6 and 7.
6 and 7.
6 and 7, yeah. So academia is a little 6 and 7, but that's the issue. But yeah, we figure it out. I think younger people who are coming into many of the kids who once were at IIMUN, some are in parliament now. I'm hoping that they bring about policies that bring about change.
And I'm hoping that I'll be soon in parliament.
Fingers crossed. When you go into parliament, don't forget us. Don't forget your school.
Definitely. Definitely not you.
How sweet.
So let's come back. So there's a quote by Jordan Peterson that you are going to pay price for everything you do and everything you don't do. You don't have the choice to not pay a price for anything. Also, which you just have the choice which poison to take. So what exactly you paid the price for making a massive organization like IIMUN?
So you're saying that, so am I correct in understanding your question that whenever you do something at that juncture, you have to sacrifice something?
Yes. The quote says the same, na? You are going to pay a price, everything you do and everything you don't do for.
I would like to differ slightly with the quote in this, that I feel that whenever you do something in life, at that juncture, people always say that you're sacrificing. All right. And the question is that in my time Shah Rukh Khan, now let's say Ranveer Singh. Okay, somebody were to ask Ranveer Singh saying, "आप कितना sacrifice करते हो, कितनी बड़ी बात है," etc. etc. No, yaar. Honestly, if you're passionate about what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. So I think my bread and butter is my work, which is my family business. But my day-to-day thing, which I do every day, and my swadharma is IIMUN, and I'm very passionate about it. So कोई मुझे बोल रहा है saying ये काम है, आपको पॉडकास्ट रिकॉर्ड करना है and you have to talk to, I'll be like, ये काम नहीं है. काम वो है जो जिसको मुझे पसंद नहीं है, जो मुझे करना पड़ रहा है compulsory. So I have not made any big sacrifice in choosing IIMUN. If at all, the people in and around you have to make a lot of sacrifices. Like example, think about the fact Virat Kohli's wife, Anushka. How many sacrifices she will have to make for Virat? How many sacrifices did Virat's family make for Virat? Virat is doing what he's passionate about. And these are all big people. But talking about simple people, like me or like your school teacher or your principal, it is their choice in order to do what they are doing. If they're doing it out of choice. If they're not doing it out of choice and it's a compulsion, that's another thing. But I'm fortunate enough, I'm pursuing what I'm passionate about. So I've not made, to be really honest, I'm not saying it just because it's a recording or whatever it is. I don't think I've made any sacrifice. I think a lot of people have made a lot of sacrifices for me. Yeah.
But I got my answer. That if we do the thing we are interested in, then we'll not have to make a sacrifice.
It won't be a burden on us.
Burden on us. If we suffer also, so we are suffering for our interest.
आपकी perfectly summarized. Because you made the decision, so then it's your consequence. आप member of parliament बन गए, बाद में आपकी जिम्मेदारी है. Yeah, then you have to go and work every day. And Kangana Ranawat said this. I was not. I don't know whether you saw it, but she said I was not ready to be member of parliament because.
I saw that.
But आपका choice था to become member of parliament. Then you have to suffer. You have the positives and the negatives. Then how you live the way.
Because you chose that for yourself.
Correct. You already are so smart at this age. I need to take your interview, not the other way. बोलो but प्रश्न पूछो.
So now I'll give you a sentence and you have to complete it. Okay?
जी.
By seeing the Indian, landscapes and scenario right now, India will fundamentally not be able to grow to its true potential if the youth continues to.
Believe in instant gratification.
Same.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Perfect.
So, in your book, Nothing But the Truth, you mentioned breaking through the closed doors of massive public figures without any family legacy or pedigree. When working with your own teams and endless stakeholders today, what is your absolute non-negotiable rule when it comes to inner circle work ethic?
I think work hard. Don't just work smart, work hard. For me, the idea is that just because you finished your work in 2 hours does not mean that you go back home. For me, the thing is that your work ethic is more important. So I'm not saying for the remaining 8 hours, don't chill. But I'm saying also then upskill yourself. Because you allotted 8 hours to this task, today AI gave you the answer in 8 minutes. That means that you saved 7 hours and 52 minutes. Now 7 hours and 52 minutes में आप chill कर लो 50 मिनट, but बाकी की 7 घंटे जो आपने निश्चित किए थे ये काम के लिए, make sure that you are purposely speaking in Hindi and English, all right? Otherwise, I'm very comfortable in only English. The only reason that I do this is it okay that I do this? The only reason that I do this, especially in IB schools or schools that are fancier, is that it's important in order to speak in your mother tongue / the other most popular language across the country. Coming back, sorry. I have ADHD, so ADHD. So the idea is that for us, it's very important to realize that it's not just the remaining 7 hours and 52 minutes is something that you want to make the best out of. So for me, that's a non-negotiable. The second is sifarish mat use karo. There's a very popular politician who worked with us in, now he's a big politician. He's like, मैं पापा को बोलता हूँ इनको बुला लेंगे, or rich kid who worked, an actor's kid who worked, and when they work with us, that time it's like, why are we struggling so hard in order to get into A place or B place? And I'm like, see, when you identify yourself with the surname, then you'll already be at a particular position. But now let's remove your surname and then let's see how good you are. And if you're able to prove yourself there, then you add your surname and you add the privilege. And I'm not saying don't use your privilege, but first try to do something by your खुद से तो करो, बाद में मम्मी पापा तो है ही, right?
So there's your iconic line in an absolute masterclass in balance. There is nothing left in the right and nothing right in the left. So it sounds spectacular on debate floors. But looking at a society today, what breaks your heart the most? How deeply polarized people are living their lives? Or from a leadership perspective, what do you think is more dangerous for India's future? A radicalized person fighting for a wrong idea, or a completely apathetic person who chooses to trust nobody but does absolutely nothing?
Great question, yeah. I should have read your question before coming. No, but it's a great question. I think a radical person who believes in an idea, but if that idea does not serve society, its larger interest, then, and if it is harmful to society, is much more harmful than a person who's highly empathetic and doesn't do anything. A person who's empathetic and doesn't do anything is a person who ऐसे ही बैठा रहेगा, कुछ नहीं करेगा life में, and that's okay. But a person who's radical will sway society, and that would be very dangerous. So the question that you asked is that what do you think is a problem in society in the sense where what you see is, if I'm not wrong, you said
A radicalized person
yeah, that I answered.
following. Which one?
The first part of the question was
The first part of the question was like, how deeply, like, what breaks your heart the most about how deeply polarized people are living their lives?
yeah. So I grew up at a time where LPG wasn't LPG was a policy, it wasn't a crisis.
Not a short answer.
Yeah, today is a shortage. It was privatization, globalization in 91, and आज वो crisis बन गई. The politics that I've seen is politics where Atal Bihari Vajpayee was the Prime Minister, and Atalji was Prime Minister who walked into Parliament, and Nehruji's portrait was kept somewhere, and they were removing Prime Minister Nehru's portrait, and they said that because you are BJP and he's Congress, so we should not, you won't like it. So he said, जब मैं सांसद में आया था, तब मैं जब युवा सांसद था, तभी नेहरू जी ने मुझे सिखाया दैट सांसद में कैसी राजनीति करते हैं. बेसिकली हाउ टू गो अबाउट द तौर तरीका ऑफ व्हाट इज हैपनिंग आउट देयर वाज टॉट टू मी बाय समबडी ऑपोजिट. नाउ इन टुडेज पॉलिटिक्स, try this. The Congress won't listen to the BJP doesn't listen to the Congress. So the one thing that's why I say the line, there's nothing left in the right and there's nothing right in the left. Well, ideology also is gone for a toss, and also people are not talking to each other. They hate each other. And that's not cool, yeah. I think if you want a country to progress, you can have differences, but don't have those differences when it comes to certain issues which are central to the country.
Okay, so to fire that question back to you, if you believe there is nothing left in the right and nothing right in the left, what is Rishabh Shah's right, and where Rishabh Shah finds something left?
Great, yeah. I think. So, what is my ideology? Is what you're saying?
Yeah,
I think the Constitution is a great book to refer to often.
my favorite book.
Yeah, it's a wonderful book, and what is written in the Constitution is something that I believe in fundamentally. That we are a state which should be a republic, democratic, secular country which respects
Socialist?
Yes, in a way, of course. Just because I have Shah in my surname doesn't mean I only believe in capitalism. But the idea that it is a country which should stick by its constitution is what I strongly believe in. I also do believe that there are certain things that are good in the right-wing ecosystem, certain things that are good in the left-wing ecosystem. Like, say, for example, free markets. There should be free markets, and market should only determine demand and supply. I don't think government should be too involved in business. So, business का काम business को करने दो, government should do government's work. So now this is an ideology that I borrow, and so my understanding of India comes from both the left and the right. And I personally believe there was never any left and right. I'm sure you would have read that the concept of left and right is actually a concept of who used to sit on which side of the king, and in France. And the ones on the right became the right wing, the ones on the left became the left wing in a way. And of course, there are many other ways that right wing and left wing came up as terms. But right wing and left wing are foreign concepts. India में ये concept कभी था ही नहीं. If you see actually our scriptures and how we functioned, we were always the center. We have now split ourselves in binaries. And I think a generation that's growing up should not grow up in the right or the left, but should grow up in belief for doing good for the country. And then whatever else is needed is what I feel.
It's an incredible answer.
Exactly.
So,
Thank
you
you.
run highly successful corporate operations alongside your youth network, so which means you understand business mechanics. Today, people focus immensely on false hype and aggressive marketing just to look big. So, for long term impact, should an organization focus more on intense marketing or raw ground level management?
If you've seen my life in the little that you've come to IIMUN and seen how it is, there is no marketing. The marketing is close to zero. We market ourselves not in big hoardings or billboards. There is no social media ads that are run for large amounts. There's no promotions that are done in newspapers. IIMUN runs purely in that sense.
Youth way.
In the youth
We
way.
make reels.
We make reels.
Yeah.
And reels are the best way of pushing the content across. So,
So that's not marketing, because if the youth are part of that organization, they'll do what they do. They
Correct.
make reels.
correct. So I think intense marketing that is done by big companies in order to push their case, it is good because they want to try to get, it is good for them because they want to get more eyeballs, etc., etc. But I just feel if your work is solid, like, you don't need that much of marketing if your work is solid. And that is the most important thing. Today, you'll see big companies with great valuations. There's a show called Shark Tank India. Do you watch it?
Yes.
It's a great show. But if you see the profitability of some of the people who are on that show, they'd rather run non-profits rather than running companies. The thing is that, but they look very good because they spend so many millions of dollars on their images. So everybody who will come, suppose there's a shark who comes to your school, everyone will stand in line and they'll say, wow, ये इंसान आया, okay, बात करने के लिए. और वो बात भी करेगा अच्छे तरीके से, because that's the image. But आप उसकी balance sheet check करो. So the company is making bleeding losses. Now you compare this to a name like Godrej or a name like HDFC. HDFC doesn't do so many ads like some of these new age companies do. The chairman of HDFC is who? Can you tell me who's the current chairman? No. HDFC. Godrej?
I have the name, but I don't think it's
Correct. But now tell me who's the founder of Boat?
I forgot his name. He's one of the sharks.
Sharks. Aman.
Aman.
हाँ, आपको पता ही होगा, वो जरूरी है क्योंकि the marketing is such that आपको उसका नाम पता है, but the
Exactly. When you said boat, his image came in my mind.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what happened with me.
but Godrej
Because
is
we have seen a lot of ads of him.
correct.
Of boat. Like whenever we scroll a reel, like after reels, one marketing reel come. Like not a reel, but it's an ad. The ad is written. Ad type of, and after stories also ad type of thing comes. So ad comes, his image is there. So his image came in my mind. I said, okay, it's Aman.
So this is what I'm saying. Today marketing has become like this. And is this good for a business? In my opinion, Godrej is a 125-year-old company. Okay, Godrej made our first ballot box. The locks that you use at home are yet perhaps Godrej. The fans that you use are Godrej. But you don't know the chairman of Godrej. But you know a new age business leader. Today's businesses are more focused on marketing. Saying marketing अच्छा होना चाहिए. But product is not important. So my advice always, whenever the IIMs run out of chief guest and they call a cheap guest, at that juncture, I always tell them saying that don't look to build the next $1 billion business. See how much value you are creating for the next generation. And in that, don't promote yourself. Today, IIMUN is known, MUN is known. MUN before 2011 was not in Varanasi, was not in Bengal, was there in Kolkata, but large parts of Bengal it wasn't. Minus 19 schools across India, there was not an MUN conference. Today, 162,000 schools have an MUN. Nobody credits IIMUN, okay? Nobody credits IIMUN, nor do I want the credit. बट टुडे MUN इज इन एवरी स्कूल. आप वाराणसी के कोई भी स्कूल में चले जाओगे, वो MUN मिल जाएगा आपको. तो
MUN is everywhere.
We can
Every
always
school is
start a
organizing.
conversation with MUN.
So where did MUN come from? So we never talk about it, and I don't talk about it. But because you asked me about marketing, MUN came when for the first time we came to Varanasi and we organized a conference in Varanasi. There was no other school that was doing an MUN conference. Then people participated in that. Then they saw it. Then they did their own MUNs, and now the concept grew. The thing is, imagine if we marketed it from the first day, saying MUN equals to IIMUN. Okay. Then every school across all these 1,62,000 schools across would say, you will have 500 people more outside who will be standing and saying, I know Rishabh. But that's not my point. My point was that make MUN accessible, make her want to become the next member of parliament. Then whether she knows Rishabh or does not know Rishabh is immaterial. Because in 500 years from now, nobody's
I'm
going to
serving
remember.
my country, and that's important.
And 500 years from now, nobody's going to remember Aman Gupta and nobody's going to remember Nadir Godrej. But the key will be how much of a difference did the Godrej group make and how much of a difference did boat make. For me, I want more Godrejes. Boats you can be or may not be. So that is what the purpose of IIMUN is. And therefore, today the guest also who you're going to speak to is also a person like that. Everyone's excited. Everybody is excited about Baman sir, because of his films, etc. But Baman sir is also a person like this. But yeah, sorry, I speak a lot. Please.
I know, because last time I was there in championship
Yeah.
conference, so by his speech, I got to know that he is that.
दिल से बहुत अच्छे हैं. Yeah. Publicity नहीं है.
He sings also amazing.
Correct.
So next question is about, some people say that breakfast is important and some people say that dinner is important. So what's your opinion on this? Can we skip breakfast or dinner? And what's your ideal diet plan? Like, which type of diet is ideal for you?
I've said this often, and Alfia already knows this because Alfia is standing there. I eat only once a day, and I've been doing it for 15 years. And now it's called OMAD, 1 meal a day. This is what people call it today. But this is not an Indian concept. It's not a foreign concept. It's always been there in India. So ये breakfast, lunch और dinner जो है, जो हमें खिलाया जाता है, saying breakfast घर से खा के जाओ, it's the most important meal. It's actually, before the British came, there was largely never a concept in Indian culture of having breakfast. We used to have our meals 5 hours after we get up, because up subah, think logically, you get up and the first thing is you stuff yourself. Now you've not woken up, you're getting out of bed and you're getting ready for school, and your mom's like, ये केला खा लो, शक्ति आएगी. But कल रात की जो शक्ति है, that is yet in my body. The idea is that we see meals also from a very Western context. I'll tell you how, and spoken about this, but I'll quickly tell you
I
how.
have seen your podcast on your Instagram how you were talking about how 3 meals a day was not a thing that
Same,
India
I have
followed.
also seen, but we wanted to know
Yeah.
What about
more
Yes.
about that.
So the Brits came and they had this whole concept of making us work in factories. And because we had to work in the factories, that is why they said that it is important for us to be fit in the morning. And therefore they said, कि खाना और खिलाओ, we will be fit in the morning. Then you have lunch the second time, and then the dinner, which was always had at 5 p.m. in our case. Brits always then said that पहले हमें खिलाओ, बाद में खुद खाना खाओ. So then our dinner became 9 p.m. So the idea that 3 meals a day is a thing which does not need to happen. I don't recommend that everybody follow it. I'm not a medically certified doctor, but it's worked on me.
That's why I asked you your opinion.
Yeah.
For everyone.
My opinion is 1 meal a day. Be happy, and if you can't do that, have two. One at 12 in noon time
Actually,
and
I
one at
think
5.
2 is great.
Yeah, two
Having
is ideal.
great. 2 is ideal one.
Brunch and dinner.
Balanced
that
one.
would be best.
So,
Yeah. There's a fascinating culture trend we notice when we look at foreign countries. Indian heritage, spiritual traditions, and festivals are deeply respected and celebrated over there. But as back home in India, we have our culture all around us. So our peers seem to value it much less. So, how do we break this appreciation gap?
There's a difference in terms of people appreciating our culture.
Yeah.
I think we need to make it cool. We need to make India cool. भारत जब cool बनेगा तो ही हम लोग उसको value करेंगे. When it'll be cool in order to talk in English and not just English. When it'll be cool in order to talk in a way that is understood by 1.6 billion people and not pretend that English is the only manner of communication. I think what this government has done is also great in terms of what they're doing with the NEP, etc., and all of these things. But we need to make India cool, yaar. India is not. अभी भी I'll be very honest. India के बारे में जब history books में history classes sometimes I go and I talk to history teachers and this that etc. Boring होता है यार. Like सच में आपका पता नहीं, but in some cases it is the representation of history is given in a way that is very boring. So I think it has to become really cool and exciting, and India needs to be integrated into all aspects of our syllabus. Why should it only be history? Technically, you should learn about Ramanujan. Technically, you should learn about Aryabhata, and you should learn about it in the subjects that are applicable. You should not just learn about Shakespeare. Do you have Shakespeare in school? Yeah. Okay. Well, I hope that you have Kalidas. Do you have Kalidas?
I have.
No. You won't. I said I hope.
Yeah, in RFP we have.
What is RFP? I'm sorry.
Reading for pleasure.
That again, it's for pleasure, right? I want it to be once. No. The reason up. Yeah, I to say this. कई बार तो मुझे लोग बोलते हैं ऋषभ, why do you say? When Kalidas becomes Shakespeare at that juncture, and when it's cool to read a Kalidas and to understand a Nukkad Natak and not just act in terms of Shakespeare and Shakespearean plays, and when you start doing it in these kind of schools, then there'll be a paradigm shift in India, and that will only happen when you'll have cool people who'll come in and who'll speak your language, hopefully, and you will find cool. Hopefully not forcibly. Like in this case, I'm hoping it's not forcibly. But the idea is that that is what is required in India. Right now, it's a 70-year-old or a 65-year-old who's telling us, saying, India ke baare mein padho. And aap bolte ho, theek hai, it's great. Like we know the mayor of New York is? Do you know who the mayor of New York is?
Zoran Mamdani.
Fantastic. Who's the mayor of your city? No, it's not your fault. And the reason why I asked you this is because it's not cool in order to know about your country. वो हमारे politicians ही देख लो, आप उनको देखोगे तो लगेगा saying इनको क्यों देखे? And you look at Zoran Mamdani, how he talks, what he's saying, how he's putting his image across. So it's not your fault, but I'm simply saying that it has to become cool. And if it's not cool to talk about Bhartiyata, then nobody's going to be talking about it. Everybody's just going to be like, it's reading for pleasure. Now, with nothing against reading for pleasure, it's important. Yeah.
Yeah, I have noted down. I'll suggest this to our principal, definitely. And hopefully
But yours is in the IB curriculum, it is possible to make these changes. The problem with CBSE, ICSE is curriculum ही ऊपर से आता है. तो आपके स्कूल में, even if your principal agrees,
But teachers can, teach them without books. Also, they can teach on the.
I'll be the happiest. ये आप कर पाओगे? I'll keep coming back whenever you call me then.
Okay, fine.
The idea is that we have it in terms of one subject or one something or one very little thing. Now today, why are we learning about, मैम आपको मैप का उदाहरण दूँ. It's called the Mercator map, जो हम लोग स्कूल अभी क्लास में पढ़ते हैं, जहाँ अफ्रीका की साइज़ और ग्रीनलैंड की साइज़ सेम है. वो एक्चुअल में तो है नहीं. अफ्रीका इज़ 14 times द साइज ऑफ ग्रीनलैंड. बट तो भी आपकी जोग्राफी मैप में आज मैं खोलूँगा आपकी टेक्स्ट बुक में, बिकॉज मुझे पता है वो टेक्स्ट बुक कहाँ से आती है. आपकी गलती है ही नहीं. बट वो मर्केटर मैप जो आप बच्चों को पढ़ा रहे हो, वो मर्केटर मैप इज़ नॉट एन इंडियन वे ऑफ लुकिंग एट थिंग्स. जो एक्चुअल साइज है मैप पे वही दिखा दो. सो द थिंग इज दैट वी आर येट सीइंग आवर एंटायर एजुकेशन इज कम्प्लीटली कॉलोनियल. दिस टोकन चेंजेस दैट आर हैपनिंग कि एक किताब पढ़ ली या ऐसे कर लिया, वो ठीक है. बट होलसेल चेंज जब तक नहीं होगा तब तक ये लोग का विचारधारा जो है, जो प्रश्न बोल रहे हैं, वो सेम. आई एम सीइंग व्हाट आई वाज इन साउथ बॉम्बे, आई एम सीइंग इन साउथ बैंगलोर, नाउ इन वाराणसी एंड इन भोपाल. एंड दैट इज़ एन इशू बिकॉज येस, इंग्लिश इज़ द लिंगुआ फ्रैंका. मैंडरिन मुझे भी आता है, फ्रेंच की पढ़ाई भी करवाई थी, एट्सेट्रा एट्सेट्रा. बट संस्कृत कभी पढ़ाया नहीं था. व्हेन संस्कृत बिकम्स कंपल्सरी इन आवर स्कूल्स, एट दैट जंक्चर दे विल बी एबल टू एक्सेस एजुकेशन. तो मेरी इसमें, सॉरी आई एम वेरी पैशनेट अबाउट दिस, ये हमारी सोच जो है वो अभी भी अंग्रेज़ों के टाइम की है. वो कभी भारत की सोच कभी बनी नहीं है. सॉरी.
That's why we need a revolution in education system as well.
100%. And that's why CJP, when the guys were... But they were saying कि ये मंत्री को हटाओ. मैंने बोला मंत्री को हटाने से...
That is not a solution.
Correct.
I saw your reel. That is not a solution. We need to suggest the same politicians. What we need, the changes.
So true, यार. I wish you were there instead of... With nothing against him, I wish you were there instead of him. इसको बोल के... सुनम वांगचुक जी, whom I greatly respect.
Yeah, same.
मैंने उनको मैसेज डाला. मैंने अभिजीत को भी I sent across a message and I said, अब क्या कर रहे हो? ये मजाक बना रहे हो, क्योंकि एक मंत्री जाएगा दूसरा आएगा, वो सिस्टम बदलेगा नहीं.
Same type
आप
of-
सिस्टम को बदलो, जब सिस्टम बदलेगा खुद ब खुद देश बदलेगा. But then again, there are political motives, so I can't say much.
Is being misleaded, na? The leaders are giving wrong, direction to them, so they need to be mindful of that.
Correct? I agree. I completely agree with you that we need better leaders in our country. Today's leaders are only serving their own purposes.
So before we conclude, we want to bypass the standard long form responses for this rapid fire segment.
My favorite.
Kavya and I want to split the floor for your quick, crisp, one sentence reactions to our questions. I'll start with my question. Who is your favorite author and whose books completely altered your internal blueprint?
Lots of people यार. Favorite author खाली मैं एक ही चीज में अच्छा था जो पढ़ने में. So a lot of people, but I'll give you one in India and one overseas. I think Charles Darwin is somebody that you should read. And the other Indian author that I would recommend highly is Shashi Tharoor. Though read with a dictionary.
We
were
expected
discussing,
that.
Yeah.
Actually, you knew that this is my answer?
We were discussing.
But read with a dictionary is what I'll say. Yeah. जी.
Supercalifragisticexpialidocious.
अरे बाबा बस माफ करो प्लीज ये. Right, but these are two people who I really regard, and of course there's Yuval Noah Harari. There are so many people who are who've impacted me greatly, and I think. But yeah, rapid fire, just these two.
Second, what is the one timeless quote you repeat to yourself when things go sideways operationally?
You're a speck in the universe, Rishabh. Don't give yourself so much importance.
Can you repeat?
You're a speck in the universe. Don't give yourself so much importance. Whenever something goes wrong, we think that dunya toot jayegi, right? Bikhar jayegi, saying something will happen and then the world will fall apart. Who are we any which way? That if the world falls apart and we fall apart. So don't give yourself so much importance that you feel that, so you're a speck in the universe. Consider yourself as that. The universe is, but quickly, universe is 13.8 billion years old. Documented civilization is 5,000 years old. Indian civilization, public बोलती है कि थोड़ा और पुरानी है. But even if we are 20,000 years old, it's 13.8 billion. So in that, if you are 15 years old and the universe is 13.8 billion, why do we give ourselves so much importance? So yeah.
So, taking over the final two quick entries. Third, who is your absolute favorite footballer of all time whose pitch mindset matches your leadership execution?
I don't know. I don't know if there is one particular answer again, but Leo Messi is somebody that I like. Yeah.
Ronaldo.
Ronaldo, both of you like Ronaldo?
Yes.
Oh, he's great. But I like Messi as well.
Both of
so
them are great.
both are nice.
Everybody has their own
There can be two
perspectives
goats.
and all. Yeah, of course.
Why to fight on that?
I know, right? I wish this is the same mindset BJP and Congress had.
I don't think that's possible.
Yeah, but it doesn't happen that way.
Yeah. And fourth, what is the single best psychological asset a young leader from a two-tier city like Varanasi possesses that a metro student can never replicate?
Your culture. You are culturally rooted. Mumbai, Delhi, Mumbai, Delhi, Bengaluru do not have as rich a culture as Varanasi has. Don't let go of your culture. Your culture is your greatest strength. People will tell you to become global citizens. Remember, global is not the solution. Glocal is the solution. You should be both local and global, is what I believe. It's your greatest strength, your culture. Just let's not forget that part of it.
So, right now in India, according to you, which political leader actually walks the talk and have a vision for youth as well?
Tough, yaar. I won't name people whom I don't know. So, I'll only name people whom I know very well, or reasonably well, at least is what I would like to believe. There's a chief minister in Maharashtra. His name is Devendra Fadnavis. Devendra Fadnavis has a great vision for young people. That's one person that I think. And the second, of course, my personal bias is Shashi Tharoor. These are two people that I bias towards in terms of people who I think have a great vision for our country.
So, Respected audience, we commence this dialogue by looking at a 19-year-old college student who chose to risk his savings to back a beautiful dream. Today, he sits before us on Sanvad, demonstrating to millions of teenagers nationwide that leadership doesn't come with an age requirement, and we do not have to wait for our turn to change the game.
Rishabh sir, thank you for sharing your thoughts, perspective, truth, and time with us today.
No, it was a
Thank you so much.
It
it
was
was a
a really honored.
it was really a pleasure.
Grateful.
Really, really a pleasure. And thank you very much for this. And can I tell you that you were phenomenal in terms of asking questions and being able to hold the conversation. Honestly, I do conversations all the time. And I know how difficult sometimes it is in order to hold conversation. You were able to not only ask me the question, but give your own views and then connect that to the next question. Believe me, it may seem simple, but it is a very, very difficult task. And the fact that you've been like you're doing it in grade 9 and 10 is hats off.
Thank you.
I'm not wearing a hat, but yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thanks very much, and
means
thanks.
a lot.
Yeah, it means a lot.